Hello and welcome to another episode of BCG's Talking Shit. I am your host, my name is Barrett Courtney, and here joined with me is my great co-host, the bisexist from Texas, Henry Montiero. How you doing today, Henry?
Yay!
And here, if you don't know on Talking Shit, we are a topic-based talk show where one of us brings in a topic of discussion, and then we talk some shit about it. And today, our topic comes from, Henry, what is your topic today?
My topic is, how do you make an interesting and good Superman story?
This is a very interesting topic. I am not that big of a Superman fan because I've never found him to be interesting. The same views come from our good friend Ian. Ian's just, we both share the same view of he's always powerful. He's always just doing the good thing that people expect him to do, and that's really it. I've heard the new 52 Superman has been interesting. Mainly because of different powers that he has gotten.
Well, also, apparently, the Action Comics run is written by Grant Morrison, so I'm a Grant Morrison fanboy, as you know.
Yeah, I do know that.
And so, I'm just wondering, how do you make a true, good Superman story? Because you can't write him the same way as Batman.
You can't.
And Batman has so many great stories.
Yeah.
I'd argue Batman has more, great storylines.
It's because there's a lot of character work in Batman. I don't feel like a lot of people try to focus on the psyche of Superman. Because Superman has never... I don't feel like a lot of people are inspired to look into the psyche of Superman, because he's always been looked at as, the Boy Scout. When with Batman, he's got this dark past where you can be interested of, how to interpret him.
I
don't feel like any really great writers have been able to go in and try to change Superman up, because we've gotten different interpretations of Batman that have all different interpretations that have been really good, and Superman maybe has one or two or three different interpretations that are all right, but I've never really seen an interpretation that actually is interesting. So how would you do it? How would you make Superman interesting?
Well, the first thing I've noticed is that the two best Superman stories of all time...
Superman Returns.
First of all, no. They're both focused on, Superman in the wake of leaving. Because it's Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
By Alan Moore.
Okay.
And All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison, which is my favorite comic of all time.
Okay.
And so, it's interesting because it's those comics get something right about Superman that no other comic gets. And what would that world be like without Superman?
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman.
Okay.
Because I love it.
Yeah, you were talking about this the other day.
The reason it works is because it doesn't present Superman as just being, the muscle or the heart. That's what a lot of people always focus on with Superman. They, start with most powerful man in the universe and end with the period of that statement.
Okay.
And so this comic actually looks into the humanity of what Superman is.
And what his actual, what his views are and, who he is.
Yeah. A lot of people focus on, Batman's sense of, who he is because of the death of his parents.
Yeah.
He's a man who wants vengeance for his family, hates guns, wants to protect people so that the same thing doesn't happen, takes in other people who've lost their parents, besides Tim Drake until Identity Crisis decided to screw that up.
Tim Drake and Barbara Gordon.
Yeah. And it informs his relationship with the police, and Commissioner Gordon in particular, because who cares about the rest of the police force? They're all crooked.
I like Harvey.
Harvey Bullock?
Yeah.
We all kind of like Harvey Bullock.
He's just sort of he's sort of a scumbag.
But he's great.
He's endearing in a way, especially in the New 52 run.
Yeah. And then it's but when you get to Superman, no one ever looks into that.
Yeah.
He's
actual relationships with people. And,
yeah.
And that's why that's why it's always just been sort of disconnected with me, because, it's this guy who does good for us, but does he really give a shit about us, does he feel like he's just doing, I always feel like he's just doing it because he thinks that's what the right thing should be.
Yes.
And not, really I don't feel like we're ever really getting his viewpoints, his sense of right, his sense of wrong. Like, what is he really thinking about, you know?
And so, like, it's like they have Superman, and it's human Superman, alien Superman.
Yeah.
But they never touch.
Okay.
That's the problem with a lot of people who write Superman. Those two parts never touch. They should mix, because Superman should have, like, this sense of knowing that he is more powerful than anyone else, mixed with, like, a sense of, like, human humility. Which is what Ma and Pa Kent gave him.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you're raised by two Kansas farmers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just something that's never really made sense to me, is like, you got raised by these super humble, super caring and giving people, and then you grew up, and then you became sort of disconnected from people. And it was just, I don't know, that never really made sense to me.
Like, if you want to write Alan Moore's Miracle Man, write Alan Moore's Miracle Man, but don't write Superman as Miracle Man.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's something that Grant Morrison got right, because he had it so it's like, Superman, what would a man who wants everything to be right in the world, what would he do with his last year on Earth? And so you have things like, I shouldn't spoil it for you, because you said you were eventually going to read it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. You were talking about, like, at one point, though, of, wasn't there a point where he talks to a girl?
Yeah, like, a girl's about to kill herself, and he talks to her and delivers the best line in comic book history. You're stronger than you think you are, trust me.
Yeah.
That's what Superman is. That single page is what Superman should be. Superman is someone who cares if you, an individual person, lives or dies.
Yeah.
Superman knows that he can't save everyone on Earth, but he will try.
Yeah, and the people he saves, he should, like, genuinely care about, you know? And that's, like, something I've never really seen, especially on movie. Like, in the Superman movies, is, like, that he genuinely cares and really wants to help these people. Like, there's sort of a sense of it in Man of Steel, but
then he kills someone at the end.
Then he kills Zod, and it's like, okay, but do you really care whether people live or die?
And he shows no sense of, like, dear God, what happened after Metropolis is just fucking destroyed.
Yeah, he really did not give a shit whatsoever. Which is, I think it's cool that they are addressing that in Batman v Superman.
Yeah. Like, maybe Man of Steel will look better because of Batman v Superman.
Yeah, who knows? I'm excited for it.
I think it could be good. Ben Affleck could be a good Batman.
As good as this. Never.
So it's like, I think that's what you really need for a good Superman story. Analyze
Where is he?
Analyze what Superman is and isn't. Find, like, what he can be and what he can't be.
Okay. And that's it?
Well, also Brainiac.
Also Brainiac. Brainiac's a good villain. I actually really like. I like Brainiac more than I like Lex Luthor.
Yeah, Lex Luthor's just an evil bald guy.
Yeah.
I have money,
Walter
Superman.
White.
I'm the president now. It's like how
I'm the one who knocks.
It's like how randomly in Death in the Family, it's like Joker becomes the leader of, like,
Saudi Arabia or something.
Yeah.
Some Eastern country.
Yeah.
Middle
Death in the Family is an important story, but when you look back at it, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's fucking... Because it was sort of during that time of, like, sort of campy Batman runs, and that was sort of the first taste of, like, a main Batman run where it took, like, a turn for seriousness and really fucked up stuff. But I think the interpretation of that story has been well done throughout the years. I think more been given more justice than the actual story. Sorry, I'm talking about Batman, even though it's a Superman topic. Sorry, I'm just like I'm not that big of a Superman fan because he's never been that interesting to me, and I know that's why you wanted to bring it up because you sort of wanted to delve.
Superman has become just kind of like the generic cape.
Yeah, exactly.
And think about it. Like, when Marvel tried to make Superman, they made the Sentry the most boring character in history.
Yeah. And then, like, they knew that they were doing it. Like, they knew how bad it was, and then they just shoved it off to the side, you know? They knew when to give up, and I still think DC is, like, really trying to push Superman, and it's something that, no, not a lot of people are asking for. They're all asking for Batman. Because Batman's hella cool.
Or an actual good Wonder Woman comic.
Yeah, I don't read Wonder Woman. Not because I'm a man.
The only series worth reading is the one by Brian Azzarello, because Brian Azzarello's awesome.
Yeah, I've never really been engulfed in, like, the rest of the DC universe. I'm mainly Marvel, and then Batman is my shit, and then that's really it. Because Batman's just, like, an interesting character and just really awesome to read about.
Yeah.
Not really anybody else, though.
But I think what you need to do is look at what Batman stories work, and then think of, like, a counterpoint of that in Superman.
Yeah.
Like, in Batman, Batman's Robin dies.
Yeah.
What would be something that would be a counterpoint of that in Superman that could work as, like, a similar kind of story? Not, like, a partner death, but, like, that same kind of theme.
Like, the same sort of gravity of, like, towards him. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Like, what if there was a comic where Jimmy Olsen died? It'd be like the death of Archie. Jimmy Olsen's just an Archie comic.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people really try to delve in deep into Superman, because I think they can just sort of get away with just rehashing the same stuff over and over again. And you could say the same thing about a lot of comics, but it's really obvious with Superman. And that's personally why he's just not interesting to me whatsoever.
Maybe it's because there was never that 66 Batman series for it. So there was, like, nothing where people were like, let's move away from this.
Yeah, there is no...
And so he still stays kind of...
There was no, like, really, like, just really bad, campy sort of version. Like, you could say the original Superman films, but they were never to the point of Batman 66, though. Of, like,
which is the best TV show of all time.
Which is, like, how, like, just super fucking ridiculous. So,
I mean, yeah, Superman 4, but...
I do agree with you. Well, no one gave a fuck about Superman by Superman 4.
The Quest for Peace, the best movie of all time. No, don't do it. The people.
God, that film's terrible.
Great Wall repairing vision.
Yeah. So I think that's where we should leave it.
Great Wall repairing vision.
Yes. So thank you for joining us for this episode of Talking Shit, where we talked about Superman just being sort of boring and how maybe Henry could fix it one day. So thank you for joining us.
And then a tangent on Batman.
So thank you for joining us here at Talking Shit. Of course, if you have any topic suggestions for Talking Shit, you can always tweet at us at baiazonagamers. You can tweet me personally at bananawithchong and Henry personally at Henrysaurus. If you have any tech questions, you can also tweet our tech guy at 7Moors, but the O in Moors is a 0. You can check in the description below. If you need any more BCG content, you can also check out our other YouTube shows. We got quick reviews every Monday. We got Let's Plays every Friday, and Talking Shit every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And we got a Twitch show, BCG News, on twitch.tv/baiazonagamers every Wednesday at 12:15 p.m. Pacific Time, where we talk about the current nerdy news and pop culture news and all that good stuff. So thank you for joining us today, and until next time, have a great day full of shit talking.
And Superman 64.
And Superman 64, the best game and best satirical game of all time.
Solve my maze.
There's no way they made that game and thought, yes.
We're just gonna keep referencing that in different videos, aren't we? It's
yeah.
I
honestly think they made that to be satirical.
Dude, you can get